Life is not just black or white. Have you ever faced a difficult situation and immediately thought, "This is the worst thing that could happen"? Have you ever judged an event too quickly, only to realize later that it was not as bad as you first believed? We all do this. It is human nature to classify everything as good or bad, success or failure, fortunate or unfortunate. We rush to conclusions because uncertainty makes us uncomfortable. We want answers. We want control. But what if I told you that reality is far more complex than just black and white? Life is full of twists and turns. And what seems like a disaster today might turn out to be a blessing tomorrow. That failure you once cried over may have led you to something even better. That rejection you feared may have saved you from the wrong path. But in the moment, when emotions are high and uncertainty is overwhelming, we struggle to see the bigger picture. Today, I want to share with you a story, a simple but powerful story that has been passed down for generations. A story that teaches us one of the greatest lessons of life. It is about a farmer, his horse, and the unpredictable nature of fate. It is a story that reminds us that we should not be too quick to judge what happens to us, because sometimes what seems like bad luck is actually a hidden opportunity. So before you rush to label an experience as good or bad, before you allow fear or frustration to take over, listen to this story. Let it change the way you see life. Let it help you find peace in uncertainty. Because the truth is, life is never just black or white. It is always unfolding. And sometimes, what seems like misfortune is just the beginning of something greater. Let's begin. The story of the farmer and his lost horse. There was once a wise old farmer who lived in a small village. He was known for his calm and peaceful nature, never reacting too quickly to anything that happened in his life. One day, something unexpected occurred. The farmer's only horse, a strong and beautiful stallion, ran away into the wilderness. The villagers rushed to his home, expressing their sympathy. They shook their heads and said, "What bad luck! How will you plow your fields now? This is truly unfortunate." But the farmer simply smiled and said, "Bad luck or good luck? Who can say?" A few days later, the runaway horse returned, but this time, it was not alone. It had brought back with it a whole herd of wild horses. The villagers were amazed. They said, "You are so lucky. Now you have more horses than before. This is wonderful." The farmer, still calm, replied, "Good luck or bad luck? Who can say?" His son, excited about the new horses, decided to train one of them. As he rode the wild horse, he was thrown off and broke his leg. Once again, the villagers came to the farmer, shaking their heads. "What a tragedy! Your son is injured. he will not be able to help you with the farm. This is terrible. The farmer, unshaken, simply said, "Bad luck or good luck? Who can say?" Weeks later, the country was thrown into war. The emperor's army came to the village to recruit all the young men for battle. Many sons from the village were taken away, never to return, but the farmer's son, because of his broken leg, was left behind. He was spared from war. The villagers, now in awe, said, "You are so lucky. Your son is safe while ours are gone." And once again, the wise farmer said, "Good luck or bad luck? Who can say?" The lesson behind the story. This story teaches us a powerful truth. Life is full of ups and downs, and we often rush to judge situations as good or bad. But in reality, we never truly know what the future holds. What seems like a setback today may turn out to be a blessing tomorrow. How many times in your life have you felt like something terrible was happening, only to later realize that it led you to something even better? Maybe you lost a job, but it pushed you toward a new career that you never would have considered. Maybe a relationship ended, but it freed you to meet someone who was truly right for you. Maybe you faced failure, but it taught you lessons that led to your greatest success. The problem is, when we are in the middle of a difficult moment, we cannot see the full picture. We let fear, frustration, and disappointment take over. We convince ourselves that things are falling apart. But the truth is, life is always changing. What seems like bad luck today might be the very thing that leads to something greater. So the next time life does not go the way you planned, remember this story. Instead of reacting with frustration or fear, take a deep breath and say to yourself, "Good luck or bad luck? Who can say?" Let go of the need to control every outcome. Trust the process. Keep moving forward, because sometimes the things we think are breaking us are actually the things that are making us stronger. Why we should not rush to judgment. Think about the times in your life when something unexpected happened. Maybe you lost a job, faced rejection, or experienced a sudden setback. In that moment, it felt like the worst thing that could happen. You may have thought, "Why is this happening to me? This is terrible." But this happens because life is always unfolding. We only see one small piece of the puzzle at a time. But instead of waiting to understand the bigger picture, we often rush to judgment. We label situations as good or bad based on how we feel in the moment. We react emotionally rather than with wisdom. And in doing so, we create unnecessary suffering for ourselves. But what? The truth is never just one side. Imagine when the farmer in our story lost his horse. People judged it as bad luck. When the horse returned with more, they called it good luck. But again, when his son broke his leg. They saw it as a misfortune. And yet, that injury later saved the boy from war. What does this teach us? It shows us that we never truly know whether something is good or bad in the long run. Life is full of surprises. And when we judge too quickly, we often get it wrong. Rushing to judgment leads to unnecessary pain. How many times have you worried about something that later turned out fine? How many times have you been upset about a situation, only to later realize it was actually helping you grow? When we judge too fast, we create stress and anxiety that might not even be necessary. We allow our emotions to take control, leading to frustration, fear, and even regret. But if we learn to step back, observe, and let time reveal the truth, we free ourselves from unnecessary suffering. 3 powerful lessons to help you see clearly. First, accept that you do not have all the answers. No matter how smart, experienced, or prepared you are, you cannot predict the future. What seems like a failure today may be a breakthrough tomorrow. What looks like a mistake may lead to wisdom. Life is always teaching us, but we have to be patient enough to see the lesson. So the next time something does not go your way, remind yourself, this is only one part of the story. There is more to come. Second, pause before reacting. When something unexpected happens, take a deep breath. Before labeling it as good or bad, give yourself space to process. Do not react out of fear. Do not let frustration take over. Instead, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How might this be guiding me in a better direction? Pausing allows you to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with emotion. It gives you the power to see beyond the immediate moment. Third, trust the flow of life. Life has a way of balancing itself out. Sometimes things fall apart so that something better can come together. Sometimes what seems like a detour is actually leading you exactly where you need to be. Instead of resisting, try trusting. Trust that every experience is shaping you. Trust that even in difficulties, there is something valuable to gain. Trust that one day, you will look back and see how everything made sense. Final thought. See beyond the moment. If there is one thing to take away from this, it is this. Do not be so quick to judge. Do not let fear or frustration make decisions for you. Step back, breathe, and remind yourself, life is always changing. What feels like a loss today may be your greatest gain tomorrow. The next time something unexpected happens, instead of reacting with frustration, try asking yourself, is this really bad luck? Or is this just part of a bigger picture that I cannot see yet? When you learn to see beyond the moment, you will find peace, patience, and the strength to face anything life brings your way. How to stay calm in every situation. Life is unpredictable. One moment, everything seems fine. The next, an unexpected challenge appears. You lose something important. A plan falls apart. Someone disappoints you. And suddenly, your mind is filled with stress, worry, and frustration. But what if you could remain calm no matter what happens? What if, instead of reacting with anger or fear, you could face every situation with peace and clarity? True strength is not about avoiding challenges. It is about learning to remain steady in the middle of them. It is about mastering your emotions so that no matter what life throws at you, you do not lose yourself. So how do you do that? How do you train your mind to stay calm in every situation? First, pause before reacting. In difficult moments, your first instinct is often to react immediately. Maybe you get angry. Maybe you panic. Maybe you start thinking of all the worst-case scenarios. But reacting too quickly can make things worse. Instead of making a wise decision, you let emotions take control. Instead of seeing the bigger picture, you focus only on the problem in front of you. The solution is simple but powerful. When something unexpected happens, pause. Take a deep breath. Give yourself space to think. Ask yourself, what is really happening here? Am I seeing this clearly? Or am I letting emotions cloud my judgment? Pausing gives you control. It allows you to respond with wisdom instead of reacting with fear. Second, accept what you cannot change. Many times, stress comes from trying to fight reality. You wish things were different. You resist what is happening. You want to change something that is already out of your hands. But the truth is, there are things in life you cannot control. The actions of others, the past, unexpected events. Fighting against what you cannot change only creates more suffering. But when you accept reality, when you stop resisting, you free yourself. This does not mean you stop trying to improve your life. It means you learn to focus on what you can control: your actions, your mindset, your attitude. Let go of what is out of your hands. Redirect your energy toward what you can change. That is where true peace begins. Third, shift your perspective. Every challenge in life carries a lesson. But when you are in the middle of a difficult situation, it is hard to see it. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" try asking, "What can I learn from this? How can this make me stronger?" Your perspective changes everything. If you see a situation as a disaster, it will feel like one. But if you see it as an opportunity to grow, you will handle it with strength and clarity. Remember, what seems like a problem today might be the very thing that leads you to something better tomorrow. Fourth, create daily habits that build inner peace. You cannot expect to be calm in a storm if you have never trained in stillness. Staying calm is not just a decision. It is a habit. It is something you build every day. Take time each day to strengthen your mind. Practice meditation. Journal your thoughts. Spend time in nature. Do activities that help you slow down and reconnect with yourself. The more you train your mind to be still in small moments, the easier it will be to stay calm in big moments. Fifth, trust the bigger picture. Life is always unfolding in ways we do not immediately understand. What feels like a loss today may turn into a gain tomorrow. What seems like a setback may be leading you to something greater. Trust that everything happens for a reason, even if you do not see it yet. Trust that you are growing, even in difficult times. Trust that life has a way of balancing itself out. When you trust the bigger picture, you stop stressing over every small detail. You learn to flow with life instead of fighting against it. Final thought. Your power is in your response. You may not control everything that happens in life, but you always control how you respond. And that response is where your true power lies. So the next time life tests you, pause before reacting. Accept what you cannot change. Shift your perspective. Build habits that create peace. And most importantly, trust that no matter what happens, you have the strength to handle it. Because you do. And the more you practice, the stronger you become. Accepting life with a peaceful mind. Life is never just black or white. Nothing is completely good or entirely bad. Every event, every challenge, every twist in your journey carries two sides. But too often, we judge things too quickly. We react out of fear, frustration, or disappointment, thinking we already know the full story. But the truth is, we never do. How many times have you thought something was a disaster, only to later realize it led you to something better? How many times have you believed something was perfect, only to find out it was not what it seemed? This is why we must learn to pause, to see beyond the moment, and to trust that life is unfolding exactly as it should. Instead of rushing to label situations as good or bad, we must learn to observe, to accept what is happening with patience, to trust that even if we do not understand now, time will reveal the bigger picture. Because true strength does not come from controlling everything. It comes from knowing that we do not have to. What this teaches us. First, nothing is entirely good or bad. Every situation has two sides. And what seems like a misfortune today may turn into a blessing tomorrow. Second, do not be quick to judge. When something unexpected happens, do not let your emotions take over. Give yourself time to see the bigger picture. Third, maintain a calm mind. Do not let temporary feelings control your actions. Instead, train yourself to respond with wisdom and patience. Now, I challenge you to apply this lesson to your own life. The next time something does not go your way, do not panic. Do not immediately assume the worst. Instead, take a deep breath and remind yourself, good luck or bad luck, who can say? Trust the process. Stay calm. Keep moving forward, because life is always changing. And sometimes, what seems like a setback is just the beginning of something far greater than you ever imagined.